William Hutchison, Armenia Columbia Realty for Expats, Salento Columbia Realty. Own the both with Alba. She's 80% of the company. I'm just the 20% that's sort of a hanger on. But I want to tell you today about the package of services that we offer. All of them making things smoother for you if you decide to come to Colombia. I've covered some of them off individually, but I just want to bring them all together today just to tell you where we are. And before I go any farther, please send me any suggestions you have about some other professional service or otherwise that you would like us to have a look at for you. These are for the most part English speaking. And our doctor that comes, for example, I'll get to it in a few minutes, for the visa application, you need a medical certificate filled out. She doesn't speak English, has a little bit, but with my, I guess, intermediate level, we get along fine. And that's one of the few non-English speakers that we have. So let's get started. For those of you that don't know, when you arrive here, you get a tourist visa and you get it for 90 days and you can renew it for a further 90 days locally. A lot of you will be coming with a pet, and we have a daughter of a vet that will help you complete those forms. The last thing you want is, because you haven't crossed a T or dotted an I, that your pet be quarantined for 30 days. A lot of pets won't make it, I believe. And I know at times the flight is enough. Pets have separation anxiety. I know the vets have tablets for that, so to help out the trip. But the girl's name is Maria. Maria is a popular name for our help. And she'll make sure that your paperwork is fine, whether you're bringing a dog, a cat, a mule, a bird, she'll help you out, okay? All of these, while I think of it, just get a hold of me for the contacts. You don't have to be a client now, but we'll help you out. And then you come here. We're trying to make things as smooth as possible. The second thing I want to talk about is Maria. The second Maria, our visa lawyer, absolutely fantastic. She worked for Congress in Bogota for a number of years. She knows people there to phone behind the scenes, not the elected senators or congressmen, but she knows the people that have worked for government for a long time, and she knows who to call. And that's something that many others can't offer because they haven't worked for the government. She does the visa. She puts your information together. We do the blood test part of it. Alba looks after that, usually in the morning early because there's a lineup at the lab. And that same day we get the results back. And usually our doctor comes here to the house to fill out the medical certificate. The blood test obviously is a minute, and the doctor here is usually 20 or 25 minutes to get the information together, and then we scan those documents and send them off to Maria. We have an English-speaking odontologist. There's 4 on staff. They all speak English, and 2 of them teach at the dental college. Now, whether that's a recommendation or not because they're teachers, I don't think it hurts. So there's that care as well. We have a transito employee that'll help you get your license, your driver's license. The one thing here that you have to keep in mind is you're okay on your foreign driver's license while you have a tourist visa. Once you get a permanent visa, you need a permanent Colombian driver's license. He'll hold your hand through the whole process. And for the most part, you get a 10-year license. So you're not renewing every year or two and sending in some money and making sure that it hasn't expired. Okay, I know there's some 5-year licenses too. Mine was 5, and I think the cutoff is 80, that they won't give you any 5-year license anymore, but that's subject to confirmation. We have an English-speaking car dealer, and he has access to a lot of brands. He's the general manager of the Volkswagen dealership, but he has access to Kia, Honda, Ford, Dodge, a lot of the Audi, a lot of the big brands, as well as obviously Volkswagen. He can help you a lot. And we also have a contact with insurance, broken English, but she can help a lot as well. Just to let you know, this year on my car, and the government SOAT, that's SOAT, it's an acronym, I paid $540 for the year, full coverage. SOAT is third party. A lot of people here don't have insurance, so if they are at fault, the SOAT will cover any repair to your car. We have an English-speaking girl that looks after the health insurance coverage with EPS. Once you have your visa, you register your cedula locally, and once you have the cedula, then you can apply for the EPS health insurance. Don't worry about pre-existing conditions is one point I want to make, because it's against the law here to turn anyone down for health insurance on a pre-existing condition. Okay, I have some people that have had some serious illness and they still got the coverage. Okay. Right now, just to bring you up to date, we're looking for two people. I want to find an English-speaking accountant and also an English-speaking plastic surgeon that does what they call here body sculpturing. We've had some call for that. We've had some ladies that want to have that done. And I would like to get someone English-speaking as opposed to just Spanish. Right now, too, I hate to talk about something negative, but we have the best cancer doctor in Armenia. When we were looking for one, Alba called three people in the medical field. Two were nurses, one is an oncology nurse, and all three gave us his name as the best cancer doctor in Armenia. We have a gentleman right now that's going through a 6-month scan. The doctor's fluent English, and the patient is over the moon with him. He likes him a lot, and he's available as well to anyone. We will look after your real estate needs, your rental or your buys. We've recently got into property management. Property management isn't going to appeal to many people because it has to be someone really that's here 2 or 3 months of the year, is away for 6 or 8 months, wants us to look after the bills, maybe the rental of the unit when they're not there, and so on. So that's kind of a very small segment of what we do. The other thing we have too are the tours. You can tailor it to whatever you want. We have a day in Armenia, well, not a day, probably 6 hours. We have a really full day in Salento, Cocora Valley, and then a half a day, 5 hours, maybe 6 hours in Filandia. The tour includes a breakfast, a country-style breakfast, and then 2 dinners in 2 of Armenia's better restaurants, okay? So that's the wrap up. Again, if you can think of anything that we should be offering that we aren't, we'll look for an English-speaking provider, and it'll help not only yourself if you decide to come here, but anybody else that does as well, okay? William Hutchison, Armenia Columbia Realty for Expats, Salento Columbia Realty. The weekend's coming up. I live in paradise, and you can too.